Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be when you guys are tuning into this broadcast. I am your international award-winning author, literary extraordinaire, and awe-inspiring coach, Toneal M. Jackson. But as I always tell you guys on Fridays, I am just your pleasant Green Party member, and I am joined today yet again by some other awesome Green Party members. By now, you guys know Miss Anna, you know David, and we are welcoming to the platform today JD. He is relatively new to the Green Party, but he definitely loves it as much as we do. And so today we're going to have a little bit of a hodgepodge of conversation. And today, Anna and David are going to more so serve as co-hosts as opposed to panelists. And in the latter part of the show, we're going to actually start talking to JD. He has a lot of great aspirations. And so we want to yield the floor to him to give him the opportunity to talk about that. But the first segment, we're going to be talking about Earth Hour. What is it? Why does it mean something to the Green Party? But before we jump into that, just in case you may not know these people by now, maybe you've been under a rock, it's okay. We're going to yield the floor, allow them all to introduce themselves. So Anna, let's start with you.
My name is Anna Schiefelbein. I have been an activist for over 20 years now. Brought in by endless wars that kept on happening back in my college days, and just very interested in the peace movement and always wondering why things aren't as well as they should be. What is the block between us and healthcare and clean water and clean air, and why can't we achieve these goals? So I've been around for 21 years in the movement, and very happy to have recently found a political home with the Green Party. I was a Democrat for about 12 years, and I'm just really delighted to be working with the Green Party, working towards solutions, and really being feeling valued and feeling like I'm bringing value to the movement.
Absolutely, absolutely. David, my former libertarian and Mr. Morality, why don't you come on and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm David Rych, back again. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I was for the longest time in my life a Democrat, then got really just enchanted with the duopoly, and about a couple years ago, started looking at the Libertarian Party, got involved with libertarians, had a lot of libertarian guests on my radio show. They have a whole lot of good points for sure, but some of their worst points are really bad. So it just got to the point where, like, I knew about early mid last year that I was going to make the change after I looked at the Green Party platform and said, I can't possibly disagree with any of these things. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a better platform yet. So after the election, like it might have even been the day or two after the election, I switched over to the Green Party and met Anna and Aliyah, and then met Toneal and Candace and them, and having a great time. Like Anna said, it's like I feel so welcome and so included, and it's just like I just got into it and just started running and started doing stuff. I'm running for office right now, and as a Green Party member. I mean, doing something, waiting for everything to open up and the summer to get here with farmers markets and stuff. I got a lot of plans for that stuff, specifically concerning the Green Party. So yeah, I'm very excited. It's very cool.
That is so awesome. And we're definitely going to discuss those plans, going to delve into those plans a little bit further in the show. But let's go ahead and yield the floor to our newcomer, Mr. Jeffrey Dixon, or as he loves to be known as, JD. Come on and introduce yourself, JD.
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Jeffrey Jd Dixon. I've been going by JD my whole life. I'm the founding member of Empire 13, which is a grassroots activist organization founded here in Belleville, Illinois. And we have championed the cause for racial, social, economic, and environmental justice here in the Metro East area. And we recently started our Boost to the Streets campaign to enact legislation reform for environmental justice to address the disparities Black communities face in Illinois. And so for the past year or so, we've been protesting, of course, raising awareness to the racial and social immoralities that are going on for systemic change. And through that, I am running for mayor of Belleville, Illinois, because in order to get real systemic change, we do have to get the laws changed, we have to get the ordinance changed, and we have to change those bias laws that has caused the damage that systemic racism and environmental injustice has caused. So it's been a really exciting time, and during our fight for environmental justice, Anna reached out to me. Our efforts have been shown. We've been able to collaborate with a multitude of different groups, and through that, we've seen that whatever each one of our groups is fighting for, whether it's for racial or social justice or environmental justice, all of our causes points towards the same direction, which is systemic change in our country. For the next generation, to make sure the fight, we're able to end the fight right now. We're seeing the unity in the community and the people, and it's it's great right now. And just the synergy coming in from Anna reaching out to me with the Green Party, your platform for environmental justice is great, and everybody coming together I just keep saying this, Kesman. It's just now is the time. So it's an exciting time. I'm great to be with you all tonight, and I look forward to the future.
All right.
That is awesome. I definitely want for us to connect a little bit later. Like I want to know more about everything that you were saying that you do in terms of activism. So we'll definitely talk more about that. But what we want to do is encourage everybody, as you guys are tuning in, feel free to please observe our 3 rules of protocol, which is number 1, say hello, let us know that you are watching. Number 2, like and share the video. And then finally, tag somebody that you believe would benefit from watching this broadcast. So the first thing that we want to do is kind of talk about Earth Hour. And I'm yielding this whole thing to you because you're like, hey, let's talk about Earth Hour. Many people may have heard about it today, but tell us a little bit about what Earth Hour is. Talk about it.
Well, Earth Hour was started by an organization. I think WWF is part of, started it. What happens with Earth Hour is you spread the word. You spread the word at 8:30. At 8:30 your local time, you turn off any unneeded electronics, any lights. As a mom, Earth Hour is every hour here. Trying to pass that along to the children. So it's a conscious effort to, hey, that electronic is on, it doesn't need to be on. So I think of it as, here's a time for us to be conscious and understand what is going on in our local houses and in our own residences, and say, hey, I don't need that on. Let's turn that off. I do think that we can conserve a lot more energy, and that will help with how much output that needs to be created. So I think with Earth Hour, it's actually March 27th, so it's tomorrow. It's 8:30 to 9:30. You're in your local time zone. So it is a nice action to say, hey, let's be turning off any unneeded electronics or lights that are around. And so I do think it's a great step towards April, which is Earth Month, as most people call it. So I think it's a great launch into April, which is Earth Month, and be conscious of what is going on in our houses and turn off the lights, as probably almost every mother can attest for. I can.
Absolutely. David, I'm going to throw a question your way. I know in our previous weeks, you've talked about the concept of preserving the earth, right? All the different changes that we need to make. And I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit. Whereas I understand and agree wholeheartedly with Earth Hour, the concept of Earth Hour, as Anna explained it, do you feel that that's enough? Doing 1 hour out of, I don't know if it's the year or if this is just this one time, so this is one day out of the entire year where we're being able to, or asked to conserve 1 hour. Is that enough?
Is it enough to stop global climate change? No.
Go ahead and just kind of speak on that. And
no, it's definitely enough to get us on the track of preserving energy and stop being so gluttonous and wasteful with our energy. I got to say, my mom and I are pretty good at not having lights on that we don't need. It's a pretty tiny house, so lights on are kind of annoying anyway. But I mean, I'll probably just tomorrow I'll do. So Anna, I just wanted to ask you real quick. So it's not the attempt isn't to be a blackout entirely in your house for an hour, just unnecessary stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might go for a blackout for an hour because, like I said, we're pretty good at that anyway. But no, I think it's a great gesture, and I think it's more than symbolic. I think that if enough people do it, it can have a certain effect, a positive effect. I mean, you're going to, the energy, the utility company is not going to be putting out as much, kilowatts in that hour as it normally would. And that's going to have some, I don't know, maybe they'll notice something. I don't know. But no, climate change is still happening.
Okay. Now, Jake, you kind of nodding your head. Do you have any ideas that you feel would maybe be even more beneficial for us overall in terms of contributing to the concept of, because I believe the entire concept behind Earth Hour is for conservation, right? So along with Earth Hour, do you have any ideas of things that might be advantageous as well?
I mean, outside of Earth Hour, I think David had kind of touched on, we could maybe increase it, maybe do, or like you had said in the beginning, to maybe once a month increase the output of it. And so throughout the year, it will actually compile, and then we'll be able to see more results instead of just making one Earth Hour. We could do an Earth Hour every month and make it a monthly, annually thing throughout the year and continue that. And I think after, a few years of doing that, not only that, it will spread awareness to the people, it'll bring more people in, and then more action can come from it. So I think just an increase of it monthly, I think that would be a great aspect, a great add-on to it.
So I have to kind of throw it. Most of the time, I'm just interviewing, but I just have to throw my 2 cents in here. For me, whereas, again, and I will abide by Earth Hour, but whereas I think that the gesture is cute, I feel about Earth Hour the same that I do about Small Business Saturday. And for those of you who may not be aware of Small Business Saturday, as an entrepreneur, it's almost insulting where you are encouraging everybody one day out of the entire year. So there are 365 days in a year. And so there is one day where we are telling everybody, please go and support small businesses. And so as an entrepreneur, my thought is, what about the other 364? Like for me, I would love it if it was reversed. You can boycott me that one day if the other 364 that you support me. Does that make sense? Because that's what's going to keep me in business, not the one day when you come and you buy 1 or 2 items. And I feel it's the same thing with Earth Hour. I feel that, I wouldn't be opposed to us doing 1 hour or 2 hours every day. Because if you think about what would then be done in lieu of, so if we are without power, so to speak, now that increase people to start talking to each other more, because now there's no power. And I'm not saying, I know we said blackout, so I'm not insinuating a blackout, but even if it was a blackout, so if I know that every month or every day that I'm going to go from say 8:30 to 9:30, 8:30 to 10:30 with no power. Now maybe I'm talking to my children. Maybe I'm talking to my friends. Maybe I'm working on my business. Maybe I'm doing something that's a little bit more productive than, just utilize, because I think that we can go without lights. As David said, I'm in my house many times and throughout the day, very rarely am I using all the lights in the house. I think that's just like wasteful to have on all the lights in your house. For what? I mean, that's just unnecessary. And so in either case, that's my personal thoughts, my personal contribution to the war effort. But what I will say, you guys are just tuning in to this broadcast, feel free to, if you have any questions, feel free to post your questions on social media. And we want to definitely acknowledge Ms. Margaret Elizabeth, who is tuned in. Anybody else tuning in, feel free to say hello so we can acknowledge you. If you have any questions about the Green Party, you want to join the Green Party, we encourage you to visit our website, www.ilgp.org, and you can send any questions to info@ilgp.org. So at this point, I kind of want to switch gears. We have kind of had our say so about Earth Hour. So I want to kind of talk a little bit. We have both David and JD who are running for, as David so eloquently put it, we're running for stuff. So I want for us to kind of yield the floor to find out more about the stuff that they're running for. So we'll first start with JD. I know that you said Belleville mayor. So tell us like what that looks like in terms of the actual running process, what it is that you would need for people to do, how it is that you can indeed become the next mayor of Belleville. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, so yes, I am running for mayor of Belleville. I'm actually running as a write-in candidate for mayor of Belleville. And in order for me to become mayor, or how it will work on the ballot is people will come in, they'll vote, they'll fill in a bubble, and then they'll actually write my name in, Jeffrey Jd Dixon, for mayor. Because I didn't make the ballot only because everything, like me running for this office, me running for mayor, has been it was organically brought to me. It was brought to me about maybe like 2 weeks before the deadline for the petitions to make the ballot. Because I never thought about running for office. I always wanted to just go the grassroots route, use demonstrations to enact legislation. And but after it was brought to me, through my supporters and everything, it made sense. It's like if you really want change, then why not get in the position to where you can affect the change yourself. Not only that, reach outside of the box, talk to other municipalities, other mayors, reach out and use that seat that I'm in to reach out to other government officials, other lawmakers. And with that type of voice, we can actually pull in more support and actually get the state involved, the federal government involved, and to come into the cities to address the environmental issues that we're having here in the Metro East. Right outside of East St. Louis, there's biohazardous chemical plants that's been burning dangerous chemicals that's been seeping into East St. Louis and the surrounding areas, for decades. One of those dangerous chemicals, including arsenic, cause cognitive development issues in the children, asthma issues, lifelong health complications as well. So those are issues that I feel our local government especially has not addressed, because those fumes even reach here in Belleville and the other surrounding towns like O'Fallon and Fairview Heights. And that's why, even though I'm running for mayor of Belleville, like I said, it's using the seat to reach out and do more, think outside the box. We're all connected, just like through activism. We are all connected. We have family members all around Metro East, and we all breathe the same air. We all face the same issues. And it's time, and now I've always advocated for the people, fought for the people. So me running for mayor is just me bringing my activism into the political realm, and using my voice and using the power that I do have to advocate for the people, because we need it, especially for environmental justice, because we can't go on breathing in these biohazardous chemicals, and to the point to where the grounds of East St. Louis can't even be farmed because of the high levels of chemicals that's in the ground. And it's time for a change. And just so through my efforts and through Empire 13 efforts and running for the seat as mayor, we hope to infect systemic change on our local level, and then eventually statewide, and hopefully national level, and really form a coalition of environmentalists and activists that will push for systemic change, so we can end the causes that systemic racism, environmental racism, and then the injustice of environmental biohazard chemical dumpings have had on our state, country, and city. It's been an exciting time. It's been really fun though.
No, that's awesome. So, how many, because you're a write-in candidate, how many votes would you need to be able to come mayor? That's part one. And part two is it only the residents from Belleville that can vote you in to become the mayor of Belleville?
Yes, correct. It's the same. The rule, I mean, the same logistics as far as for the other two candidates that are on the ballot. It's whoever has the most votes, same, and then I'll be able to be elected mayor. And it is only Belleville residents that can vote in the election for. So it's still just whoever the people decide they want.
Okay. David or Anna, did either of you have questions that you want to ask JD?
Yeah, I have some questions. So where exactly is Bellevue?
Belleville, Illinois. It's Metro East area. Illinois is right outside of St. Louis. Maybe
So
about
super
15. Excuse me.
Super south.
I want to say super south. Like if you know where St. Louis is compared to Illinois, I'll say like a little under central Illinois, Metro East. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what kind of things do you think you could do as mayor to, like, if there's some sort of leakage into the land, the soil, or the rivers down there, the East River, from other areas that may not be in Belleville? What would you do as a mayor to put a stop to that?
And that I'm glad you asked that. And one of the platforms that I'm running on, and what I want to do is reach out to the other mayors and other municipalities in the Metro East. Just like the United Nations, each city, we have our own funds, we have our own resources. If we come together and we can use our resources and our funds together, then I think we can make a huger impact when it comes down to fighting the injustices that we face. So, and what you just said, if there's a leakage or some type of biohazard chemical dumping or something like that, if we're all working together as one, I think we'll be able to get to that solution, or get to it faster and solve it faster than if it's just one municipality going after it. So again, me running in my mayor's seat, I would want to use the voice that I have to reach out to the people that would normally ignore our activism, or normally would ignore the environmental activists that are saying, hey, there's a leakage going on out here, and they'll ignore them, but it's kind of hard to ignore somebody that has a mayor seat or somebody that's in a political
yeah, totally.
office.
You could just militarize your police and just take over surrounding towns.
Right.
What about environmental racism? Because I know that that's an issue for sure, that where in the past, different companies, industries, whatever, would find like a community of predominantly minorities or whatever, poorer communities, that kind of thing, and go, hey, let's build our garbage dump over there because we don't care. That kind of stuff. And like build these, Zion's got, it's not a very rich area, predominantly minorities in that area. And that's where the nuclear the place was. I think they shut it down a while ago, but that's what they tend to do. They're just trying to find these places where they will just dismiss out of hand and go ahead and put the really nasty stuff there. Are you aware of this kind of stuff? And do you think that's what's happening down there?
Oh yes, I'm very aware of it. That's actually why we formed the Boots to the Streets campaign, Empire 13 Boots to the Street campaign, is to use demonstration to enact legislation for the disparities Black communities face due to environmental racism, especially East St. Louis. East St. Louis, Illinois is one of the most devastated Black communities in Illinois due to the chemical plants that are placed right outside of the city limits. And that's what I was speaking on earlier. East St. Louis even housed at one time 14 chemical sites that had been deemed extremely hazardous and dangerous to human life. And those chemical residues seeped into the soil, which caused the entire ground is unable to even grow fruits or vegetables. Which East St. Louis, when it first was formed, was one of the most upcoming and vibrant cities in the country. It had agriculture, had vibrant businesses and everything. And due to the disparities and lack of resources given to the Black community, due to these multi-billion-dollar chemical companies choosing minority towns to build their cities outside of, they had the money and they had the power to make people turn their heads to what was going on. And that's what the environmental racism caused. That's systemic environmental racism. Black communities all across the country has been devastated by it. And so, yes, I'm very aware of it. That's another reason why I am running for office, because I don't call myself a politician. I'm an activist, first and foremost, hands down. So, but that's what's needed. And in order for change to happen, we have to enact legislation reform. That's the only way we could protest, we can demonstrate, but if those laws don't change, then it will be for nothing. So yeah, I'm very aware of it. That's something that Empire 13 is been championing. We're going to continue to champion until we do get systemic change.
That's awesome.
Thank you for that question.
That's awesome. Anna, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to know a little bit more about your background. Were you always aware of the environment, or some people in the movement, they call it this aha moment, like, aha, the light bulb went off and I realized that what I'm being told is not what is necessarily correct. Did you have an aha moment? Or for me, it was when I was 12, and I knew that the adults were not doing the job correctly. So, some people just, you grow up in it, and you don't have an aha moment.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you?
Honestly, being as a kid, even children today, they see the difference between East St. Louis and Belleville. Like, East St. Louis and Belleville is literally separated by a hill. You go up the hill and then you're in the Belleville, and that little like maybe even 0.6, 0.8 miles of stretch of road, there's a difference. There's like a stark contrast difference that can't be ignored by anybody. So even as a kid, coming back and forth from East St. to Belleville, our entire family is in St. Louis, so we would go out there all the time, going back and forth. You can't ignore it. And as a kid, I didn't know why. Like, as a kid, you don't know the reason why it's different, but you see that, hey, this area is bad, this area isn't, but you don't understand why. But growing up, as I got older, then I started realizing started looking up as far as the impacts of environmental racism outside all the aspects of environmental racism, from the biohazardous chemicals to the disparities in law and how resources are enacted. So, like, as a kid, I seen it, and then as I got older, especially getting into activism, I started to learn the intricate knowledge of what actually caused disparities between Belleville and cities alike. So it was moment as a child, but just growing up is just like learning more and more and more and more to the point of, okay, yeah, this ain't going on.
So I have a question in terms of, well, you know what, let me say this before I ask my question. I want to say that, first of all, I salute you and what it is that you're doing, because I'm probably on that same line with you, where I believe myself to be more of an activist than a politician. So when you said that resonated with me, because people want for me to run for something, but I'm still trying to like embrace that whole concept. I don't, if you ask me, I would say I'm not really into politics. However, when it's broken down, to understand that if you are really an activist, as you said, you want to be able to sit at the table where you can affect change, right? So in that same regard, what is it that, like, in terms of your campaign, how are you campaigning? What does that effort look like from you?
Well, as far as like my platform, I'm running on, of course, the Black community. We needs to be advocated for here in Belleville. The environmental injustice, environmental racism that affects St. Louis. Like I said, those chemicals, that is reaching Belleville. Like, we'll be on break and we'll smell the fumes. And at one point, we didn't even realize what it was, and that might be the aha moment right there, actually, which was maybe just 5 or 6 months ago. We always used to smell it here in Belleville, and we never knew what it was until I started doing my research. And then I'm like, wait a minute, these are the chemicals that are being burned right outside of East St. Louis and Saul J. That's what's reaching up here. So running on that and being in that seat, like you said, being in that seat, that's what I am running on. I'm running for the people, to advocate for the people, to advocate for the issues of society that we're facing today. Because right now our local government is out of tune with what is going on with the people. They are not focused on systemic change, what the nation and what the world sees to happen now. So my run here is it's not looking bad. I'm pretty happy with what's going on. I'm extremely happy with the feedback. I'm extremely happy with the support that I'm getting. The people are able to see, they're able to see the truth. When you're running on truth, when you're running on what you're passionate about, when you're running for real change, that comes off of you. They see that you're not a politician. They see that you want systemic change. So I feel that's what the people is definitely feeling off of me, because that's what I'm running on. So it's been fun. I've of course faced opposition, of course, here. Especially running to be the first Black mayor of Belleville. I'm gonna get opposition from everywhere. But that comes with activism. That comes with perseverance. You have to persevere through all the adversity that comes your way. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If systemic change was easy, we wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't be having these conversations. It'll be laws and ordinances to be able to rein in everything that's going on, but that's not the case. So whatever comes, whatever has came, persevere, keep pushing, because it's a fight for the people. This is a fight that's not gonna be done in a year or 2 years or 5 years. It won't take overnight, but you got to start somewhere. So getting into office, affecting legislation, that's what it's going to take. So, but with everything that's going on, I am happy. It's been a great experience so far.
That is awesome. And we definitely wish you the best, JD. Welcome officially to the Green Party. And so, obviously, I'm from Chicago. I wish that I could do something in terms of Belleville. That's why I was asking, can only Belleville residents vote? But definitely, if there are any Belleville residents that are watching, we're going to push the video, share the video, and make sure that as many people as we can get that may live in Belleville to see this video, to be able to go and vote for Mr. Jeffrey Jd Dixon as being the first Black mayor of Belleville. That would be huge. So I applaud your effort, and I definitely, I support you in what it is that you're doing. And so for those of you who are just tuning in, we are having a very candid conversation with, we are going to say, hopefully the new mayor, what will be the new mayor of Belleville, Mr. JD. He is also a Green Party member, and we're also joined by Anna and David. And so if you guys have been listening and you want to become a member of the Green Party as well, then we invite you to go to the website, www.ilgp.org. If you have any questions, feel free to visit info or send your questions to info@ilgp.org. And so a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about your volunteer opportunities and the upcoming events. But now I kind of want to shift the focus to David Rych, who has been a panelist, a co-panelist, a fellow panelist with me for the last 10 weeks. And it came out, he's running for stuff. So David, tell us about the stuff that you're running for and like what it is that you're going to be able to do once you are in that position.
Well, I'm running for a regional office of education as a trustee. I'm the only one in my township that's running. And as far as Anna and I understood it, we understood it a certain way. And just last week we were talking and redid the math and realized that somebody was not being honest with me. And so we have to there's nothing we can really do about it now. But before I thought that, I was told by the county clerk that I could just sign my name and I win. Turns out that isn't the case. But if I do win, the Regional Office of Education meets about 4 times a year, as far as I understand it. And some of the duties I think they're just sort of like a kind of a dealing with different general issues, taking information from the state superintendent and bringing it to the parents and the public and that kind of thing, concerning annexation and that sort of stuff. So it's really kind of, as far as I understand it, a go between the higher state stuff and the people in my township. So at that point, it's not an extremely active position. It's not like being a mayor. There's no legislative anything. There's nothing like that. I don't get to vote on anything. What I do get to do is I get to use my big mouth and hopefully have the ear of the people who do have the power to make legislative changes and stuff like that, and go, oh, by the way, all these things here are happening, and you don't know that, and I do, and you need to do something about it right now. So, and I've had politicians on my show where I'm like, well, did you know this, that, and that? I'm like, no. I'm like, what do you think? Don't you think you needed to know that before you voted? Anyway, so that's basically what I'm hoping for if I win. And it's cool. I mean, I'm a huge fan of education. I think it's extremely important. I think that's ties into the human condition and human identity. We have minds so that we can learn. That's what that's for. I'm excited about it. Hopefully I will win. Hopefully. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't malign. She didn't lie to me per se. She thought she was saying the right thing, but she was actually mistaken. So
well, you know what? I think the great thing about that is at least you caught it before, while you still had a chance to act on it, right? So instead of you just looked up and you thought that it was a shoo-in, and then now the time has passed, you can't do anything about it. At least you found out in enough time to catch it, and now it's still a chance for you to still win it or get that.
Right. The activity that I was able to do once I realized that is just sort of, because obviously I wasn't campaigning at all. I didn't have to. I just thought I signed my name, one person, I win. Okay, cool. And ever since, again, Ann and I, kind of refigured out what was actually going on here. I'm texting friends. I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm running for this. You should vote for me. Holly Kim, the Lake County treasurer, who's a friend of mine, she's putting word out on Facebook to all her Democratic friends. So hopefully, I got a shot for sure. I mean, I don't know anything about the other two guys who are running. One's an incumbent, so it's kind of tough to beat those guys. The other one is a write-in like myself, and I don't know what he's doing. I have no clue. Just spreading the word is, going from doing nothing to getting it out there as fast as I can to as many people. That's the difference.
Gotcha. And here's the thing: is it the same situation like with JD, where it's just the residents from your town that can vote you in?
That's part of the confusion. So, the clerk's office. I love Robin O'Connor. I really do. I've had her on my show a couple times, even while she was still a candidate. It's just, I think the office is just not really looked at very. It's not a very high profile office. Again, we only meet 4 times a year, that kind of thing. It's not a paid position, which is fine. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what else is. But I don't know. She said that if only one person per township can run per township and can be voted in, but everybody in the county can vote for anybody in any township. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, it's actually kind of dumb. We don't ask people in Wisconsin to vote in Illinois politics.
Right.
I don't even make any sense. If only one person per township can win, then only the people from that township should be able to vote for that person or people competing within that township. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know, whatever. So and she asked me to make changes. She's like, well, hopefully you'll get in there. You can make some changes. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, if you want to slip part of your salary over my way, that's fine.
Well, if you are able to make changes, they will be totally moral. So they will make sense. So absolutely. But we definitely wish you the best in your run as well, David. And one of the things that I really do love about the Green Party, just bringing all of this back together, is regardless of what type of position that you're running for, the Green Party represents the voice of all types of people, right? All different counties, all different positions. It's really all about going back to those 10 key values that we discussed for the last 10 weeks. So whether you're talking about the grassroots democracy or the social justice or, ecological wisdom, nonviolence, decentralization, community-based economics, feminism and gender equity, racial diversity, or even, what were the last two, the personal global responsibility, and then the future focus and sustainability. Like all of those are going to be found in any community, like whether they are present or absent. The point is that there's a need for all of them. So as a Green Party member, we get to be able to affect that change. And whether we win or not, just being able to create awareness, right? Because many times I always reference this scripture. It says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. So a lot of times people are not even aware of the various issues. Like when JD was talking about being able to smell those fumes, many people might just say, you know what, we just always smell them. And they didn't take the time or take the initiative to investigate to find out the why. But when you get someone who is from the Green Party that's into office, we care about all of these different issues. So we're going to make sure that if nothing else, there is awareness that's coming about. Like you said, David, with your position, even though you may not have a direct voice, but you still can affect change by using the power that you have in the office that you have. And so I think that all of that is so necessary. You know, we all have to work together to affect change. So whether it is social change, political change, climate change, you know, it is definitely necessary that we all come together to make that change happen. And so what I'm going to do now is switch it over to Miss Anna, because we do have some events that's coming up. I know one of them happens tomorrow, and then the other one is on April 17th. So I'm going to yield the floor so that she can give you guys more information about that.
Oh, thank you, Toneal. We have our membership kickoff tomorrow, March 27th. Our first real big membership campaign is Bring a Friend. We all, the Illinois Green Party members, we all have friends, and it's going to be Bring a Friend. We really enjoy each other's companies as Illinois Green Party members, and we do a really good job of being a good group to work with. And so I'm really delighted to have this campaign where you can bring a friend. Come on over to the Green Party. We're doing really amazing things. We're working on issues. And when we're working on issues, we're not just working halfway on issues. We're working on the full issue. We have carbon-free, nuclear-free. So it's not just what carbon-free is clean, and we're happy with that. No, we see a future. We see a future without nuclear energy. We really can have that. Really can happen if we let it happen. Another thing is that we're working on, as an example, is the ban on fracking. So a little bit of fracking is not okay. It has to be a ban on fracking. So that's kind of where we differ with other groups, is that we envision a certain future, and we will work towards that future. We're not going to say, oh, a little bit of fracking is okay, a little bit of nuclear energy is okay. No, it's not okay. We want to pass on a better environment, better world, better social system to our children, to the next 7 generations. And so it's really nice that we can keep on growing our membership and growing awareness of these environmental issues. Love having JD come on board. He's was like green the whole time, and we found him, and he's being some environmental racism on point. And we find that time and time again with local communities where they get these like the nuclear energy plants. They were first in rural towns because there wasn't a lot of people there, and they didn't. And then they started to understand what was being built there, and looking past the promises of, we're creating jobs. Oh, it'll be great for the economy. So they were starting to look past it and say, well, how will that nuclear plant, how will that chemical plant, how will that affect me today, tomorrow, my kids, my grandkids? And I think that's kind of what JD's chemical plants, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but you don't know what it is. And then, it's sad to hear that soil is not good to grow plants. And it's sad to hear that the children are playing in a town where there's harmful chemicals being in it. But we see that. in Lake County. We saw that here in Page. General Iron is moving to the southeast side, or at least they're trying to. So we're seeing that time and time again, where we have to work so hard, boots to the ground, just to fight for what goes in our lungs, for our right to have great soil, to keep on planting our tomato plants in the summer. So it's really, it's nice to be with a team that has these values and sees a better vision for everybody, and helps to correct these injustices, and hopefully we can get some clean air and clean water without having to work so hard for it.
Absolutely. So what's April 17th? So tomorrow is the drive, the membership drive, and then April 17th is?
April 17th is the spring convention. So we're going to have our membership meeting in the morning between 10 and 12. And then we take a break, a computer break from 12 to 1. And then 1 to 4, we're going to have a police reform and community workshop. And so we're looking at the Civilian Police Accountability Council in Chicago and how they're organizing per ward. And so that's really great. It's not just at large, it's per ward. And so we're going to help empower community groups in Chicago and, of course, statewide. I know Will County, Springfield, Decatur, we're all there. They want to also look at what might work for police reform. And our point is to empower those community groups, give them the organizing tools. We're going to have a time bank concept. We're looking to have a co-op come in for the employee-owned business. So we want a well-rounded community. And that's what we're trying to, we have workshops on April 17th for that. So save the date. And we're going to have a fundraiser at night. Howie Hawkins is confirmed as well. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a great day, all day activity, all green. So we're looking forward to that.
Absolutely awesome. And so if you guys just heard that and you want to sign up, then we encourage you to go to the website, www.ilgp.org/events. And if you have not been totally convinced of what it means to be green and why you should be green with us, then we do encourage you to yet volunteer. And so you can do that by going to that website, www.ilgp.org/volunteer. And then you can sign up for any of the things that we have going on. And so we are almost, guys, it's almost at the close already, right? So what I'm going to do is, David, we're going to start with you. Let us know what it is that you have coming up.
All right. So next Tuesday, I have 4 more libertarians coming on my show. And one of them is actually running for mayor of DeKalb, Illinois, and he's actually a libertarian socialist, which is how I identified myself in the Libertarian Party, and even still today, which is one of the reasons why I left, because all the rest of them are like, there's like 4 of us, and then all the rest are capitalists, and I'm not supporting that crap. So, so that'd be good. And then, I got some other stuff. I got Mary J. Ruwer coming on, I think the week after that. She's got a PhD in biophysics. She's going to talk about the pandemic and stuff like that. That'd be cool. And I got Tom. What was that? Kolosko? Is that right? Anna, help me out here.
I don't know, Tom.
Calvin Tomasco.
Calvin.
That's it. He's going to be on, and we're going to talk about the history of the labor movement and unions and stuff like that, and some good stuff there. And hopefully I can get Jd to come on my show soon too.
Oh, that sounds like that's going to be awesome. So, David, where you are, Lake County?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it everybody in Lake County, or is it a particular space for people to vote? Where do you need your voters to come from to vote for you?
Lake County.
Lake County. So
I'm not lied to again. I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating that they don't know what they're doing. It's, they're running a county government and they don't. Okay. Yeah, according to the source. Supposedly, everybody from Lee County could vote for anybody else in the world whenever they want to, for whatever reason. I don't know. So.
I love David so much. Y'all don't even understand. Like, and you guys, this is what you're seeing on camera. So imagine what he's like off camera, right? And I've seen David off camera. So anywho, everybody who is in Lake County, please go and vote for David. We think that that's the right thing to do. So go ahead and vote for him. So
David Rych, R-Y-C-H. R-Y-C-H. Remember that.
Right. R-Y-C-H. David R-Y-C-H. David Rych. All right, JD. So what do you have coming up? Is there any way, we know that we can't vote for you, but what do you have that's coming up that people who are watching may be able to support?
Well, actually, tomorrow, like I said, Empire 13, we've been collaborating and working with activist groups from environmentalists to those fighting for racial and social justice. Tomorrow, Rec Team Regular Everyday Citizens, which is a environmentalist group right outside of, coming from East St. Louis. They have a cleanup tomorrow that we're going to go out and help them with a community cleanup and barbecue to clean the community, to get the residents, show the community that we care. April 4th, Empire 13, we're hosting our cleanup. We're going out again. We're going to be having our action petition out to enact legislation reform for the disparities that Black communities face, and that's going to be on April 4th. So we'll be back out there, Boots to the Streets campaign, alive and in effect. So yeah, we have those community cleanup coming up. We're also Empire 13 this summer. We're actually going to be kicking off our summer protest, which is to ensure and to make sure that the state officials, police officers, and to what Anna was saying, they're held accountable, and that police reform, as far as the new ordinances and laws that are coming out, that is that we need as in the Black community and as in society as a whole, making sure that police will be held accountable for their actions that they do to the citizens that normally are gone, of course, unanswered. So we're going to be having a summer protest where we'll be going out to various cities in the Midwest to collaborate and work with other activist groups to raise awareness and to make sure that the community is involved in what's going on as far as police reform, the environmental injustices that are going on, and to just bring the people together, because it's going to take all of us to bring in systemic change to this country. So we have a exciting full schedule coming up for Empire.
Good for you.
I'm really excited about the future.
I got a question. Does Empire 13 have a website?
We do not have a website, but we are on Facebook. You find us at Empire 13 on Facebook. You type it in, you see us. Will be the Justice Fist, and you see in racism in the Justice Fist, black and yellow. You can't miss us.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to ask. So even beyond Empire 13, how can people get in touch with you? Or, like if someone was looking to support you in your campaign or anything like that, do you prefer that they just reach out through Empire 13, or is there some other way to connect with you?
Oh, well, actually, I do have my mirror campaign page. It is write-in candidate Jeffrey Jd Dixon. It's on Facebook as well. You can message me on that. You can also message me on my personal page, it's Jd Dixon. For anybody that would like to contribute or help in the campaign in any way, they could reach me.
Awesome. So we definitely want to thank you guys so much, all of you who joined in. Always, Anna and David, JD, thank you so much for your time on today. And again, best wishes you in your mayoral run for candidacy. So we also want to take the time to acknowledge those who tuned in, specifically to Ms. Margaret, to Mary, to Becky. Thank you guys for tuning in. But Becky did have a question before we end. She says, is there any info in the Will County Lockport election, because she doesn't know who to vote for? So do we have any information there?
I can get back to her on that.
Okay, so Becky, Anna is going to get back in touch with you and let you know if there are any Green Party members who are running for office within your area. So in either case, we want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. And again, by the time I'm done with this show, you always know the website. So one time before we leave, if you want to become a Green member, then we encourage you to go to www.ilgp.org. If you have any questions, feel free to email. Exactly. Everybody, I keep telling you, I feel like it's a sing along, like this is Sesame Street, and everybody can sing along. Like, send in your questions to info@ilgp.org. And then please remember tomorrow is Earth Hour. So it's 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Central Time.
Anywhere in your local time zone.
Okay, so respectively, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m., wherever you are in the world, then we're asking that you take that 1 hour and have no power for that 1 hour in honor of Earth Hour. And then also on the 27th, remember the Green Party. It is our membership drive, as well as April 17th. So we're not going to run down everything else, but what we're going to do is tell you to go to the website, which is www.ilgp.org/events, and that way you can see everything that we have going on and choose what you would like to be a part of. But again, we're asking all of those who are in the Lake County area to please look on the ballot for David Rych and vote for him. And then if you are in the Belleville area, that you vote for, or you write in Jeffrey Jd Dixon for your next mayor of Belleville. So we want to thank everybody. And this is actually, we are finishing out the first quarter, guys. This is the last Friday in the first quarter of 2020 already. And so I want to thank all of my fellow Green Party members. For the last 10, 11 weeks, we have been doing all things Green Party. But starting next week, Toneal will go back to, I'm yet talking politics, but I will not just be talking Green Party politics. So that will now moving forward be saved solely for the fourth Friday every month. But regardless, I will still be talking politics, just politics that's not Green Party related. And that will start back again on next Friday. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in. And real quick, here's my final announcement. There was a project that I helped to produce. Is a short comedic film that is called Social Less. You can see the page. All of this on my personal page. It released today. It is a comedic short about the topic of social media addiction. So although it's a comedy, it is still a campaign. It's discussing real issues. So I do encourage you guys to go and check that short film out. But thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, you all stay inspired.
Thank you.
Thank you.